Hi, I'm going to take a few minutes and talk to you about canners. On the left, we have water bath canners and steam canners, and on the right, we have pressure canners. Steam canning is used for high acid foods, jams and jellies, and pickles. This particular canner looks familiar to most people. It hasn't changed much over years. However, the liner, to make sure that the jars do not touch the bottom, is made of stainless steel. The old ones used to rust very quickly, very easily, and so it's really nice to have a stainless steel liner. If you don't want to have that big storage pot, you can use any big stock pot as long as the jars don't touch the bottom. You need something in there to keep them from touching, and a lid. So as long as you have 2 inches of boiling water over the top, you're good to go and can use any type of pan. Here is a steamer pan. So if you look in here, it's set up off the bottom. You could steam can in this, or you can water bath. But to water bath, you have to have 2 inches of water over the top. And so the largest jar that you could use in this particular pot would be a ½ pint. Then we actually have the steam canner. This is only a couple inches deep. You put a lot of water in there. It holds the jars up off of the bottom. And you use the same amount of processing time as you would for a water bath. And then it has a lid on it, so it almost looks like an upside down pot. Now we're going to go into the pressure canners. This is an all-American pressure canner with a dial gauge, and it is a metal-to-metal pot. There are a lot of pressure canners made in the past that are metal-to-metal, and then it's clamped down to keep it tight. Others have rubber gaskets to keep the pressure in. Here's an older weighted gauge type canner. That weighted gauge, you look at the number pounds pressure that you want. You want 10 pounds pressure. You put it on so that it jiggles. It actually controls the amount of pressure in the pot. This particular one has 2 trays, so you could have 2 layers of jars in the pan. Now this weighted gauge is different than the other one. If you take both rings off, you have 5 pounds pressure. If you have one ring on, it's 10. And if I add this, it's 15 pounds pressure. You'll notice that these pots also have a nice little pop-up here that when your pot is under pressure, it comes up. When that drops, you know the pressure is gone when you want to open up your pressure canner. Not all of the canners have that. Here's a new modern gauge, and then the nice vent top. This vent top does not regulate pressure, it just keeps the pressure in. That's its only purpose. This is an older pressure canner with a weighted gauge. The thing about the older canners is they're usually nice. This one's probably at least 30 years old. You'll find them 50, 60 years old that are very nice pressure canner pots, but sometimes it's hard to find the rubber gaskets. In this particular case, I was able to find a rubber gasket that fits, but that's a problem if you buy used or borrow from somebody or have somebody has grandma's old canner. Now this last canner looks like all the other new canners, has that same top over this vent. It's not a gauge that controls the amount of pressure. You just have the dial gauge that needs to be tested. But the advantage of this one that's new on the market is the material that the canner is made of and the way the bottom is textured. It can be used on an induction cooktop or a glass top. Most of those other canners cannot be used on glass top stoves, but you still need to check with your manufacturer's guidelines because some glass top still cannot handle these pots. So that's something you want to look into before you would invest in that type of a canner. Hopefully this helps you make a decision about the canner you either have access to or if you're looking to buy a canner.